welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy. And today I am going to share with you how I go about lengthening pages, because sometimes we find these pages that we want to use but they're just a little or maybe even a lot too short, or like I'm doing this time, I'm making a longer journal and it's hard to find pages that are this long. So, and I'm pretty sure I even went out of the screen on that. So this is just going to show you a few of the techniques that I use to lengthen the pages, to balance the pages in the signatures. And this is the cover for the journal that I am making in connection with the 12 Journal Bits Challenge Fa La La with Tanya McGuire and Lisa My Eclectic Life. I will link both of them below. And we have this list of the different items that we can use, not that we have to make, but that we can use to make this journal. And I decided I wanted to try something different. I wanted to try, instead of the normal up and down this way, I wanted to try a longer journal. And I really liked this fabric. And this lace here is cut off of a tablecloth. I will also link the details to the challenge below as well, because it's not too late to join. So in deciding to do such a long journal, I have this fixation with the golden ratio here lately. And so I looked at how tall my journal was going to be, and that determined the length. That may have been the other way around. I may have decided the width and that determined the height. Anyway, I'm going by the golden ratio, and I can link a really interesting video on that down below as well. But like I said, with a journal this size, it's going to be hard to just find papers to put in there. So I'm going to share some things that I have done to make it a little bit easier to have the length that I need. Now sometimes it's easy enough to just take and add lace to the sides, to these sides, to extend your length. And I'll do that on a few pages. But I don't actually want to have that much lace, because I don't want to make it so fat that it's unusable before you even start writing in it. So I have already put together 2 of my signatures, at least the papers for those signatures. And these are some of the papers for the remaining signatures. Now, I am needing to make my pages 20 inches long, because I was silly and made a book that was 10.5. So here is 20 inches. And this falls way short. Now there are several things that I could do to fix this. I could take one of my other pages. That would be rather simple. And just cut them in half and add them to the ends. And I have done that. Let's see. Oh, do I have one? I don't have one already that I have done that with. I thought I did, but I do not. So that's one idea though. And it would look something like this, because you would just take and glue it right there. Now, I like to add a lot of pockets to my pages. So what I'm going to do with this particular page is I am going to get out one of my chosen papers for this challenge. In this case, it's going to be this children's writing tablet. I'm going to take a couple of sheets out because I don't know if I'll need 1 or 2. And I know that I'm going to need to have at least about 8 more inches. So, and my pages are 5.5 inches tall. The first thing I will do is get my paper cutter out. And since I'm only cutting it at 5.5 inches, I don't have to open it all the way up. I think this time I want to save that band up there on other pages that I have already created. I have not saved the band. I have used the bottom portion instead. I'll set this to the side because I don't throw anything away. Heaven forbid I throw something away. Now, we determined that I needed about 8 more inches, and I like to create pockets. So I think that what I'm going to do, looks like I am only going to need one of these sheets, so I'll set that one aside. I am just going to cut this in half, and it is just almost 12 inches. So I'll go just to almost 6 inches. It does not have to be perfect for this particular application. Then I need to pull that out a little further so that it lays a little flatter. What I am going to do to create pockets is I am going to, let's see, we know that this was 12 and I'm adding 8, so that's 20, so the 6 would be on the 10. That math may not work for you, but it works for me. And so I will take and line this up just like that so that I'm at the 0 here. And then I will do the same here so that I'm at the 20. Now my pages aren't exactly cut, but I can trim that up later. Then I'll get my glue. And I think I want this pocket to open toward the inside of the book. I don't normally do that, but I'm going to do that this time. So looking at my tape measure here, I'm just going to put a bead of glue. Oops, maybe, if it comes out. I just wiped off the top of my glue with a wet wipe, and now it doesn't want to come out. And I'm going to push that down. While I'm letting that corner dry, I'm going to do the same over here. And the reason that I do that is that I go down the inside of the corner is that if I just did the top there, it would be hard. Whoops, I'm gluing the wrong portion. Good thing it just wipes up. It would be hard to get it all the way up to the glue without completely removing it from the paper, which I do not want to do. So, and see, I still shifted it a little bit because I didn't let it sit long enough. And now I have a little pocket there. I'll do the same thing over here, except for I'll put the glue on the correct side. That was silly. Okay. And shift that just a little bit because it also wiggled. I'll put my cap back on and I'll lay my glue on its side. I have found that if I do it like this, I have issues. And if I do it like this, straight up, I have issues. If I lay it down, is it lay it or lie it? I think it's lay it down because that's an object. And if it was me, I would lie down. There you go, grammar lesson for today. Now I have an almost 20-inch page. When folded in half, approximately there, I will have a pocket here and a pocket here. And then I have extra lined journaling space on the back side as well. And plenty of room here. So there's the first altered, lengthened, I don't know what word to use, page for this part of the, oh goodness, of the signature. This page is from a shorthand textbook. And I think it just looks so neat. It looks so cool. I love the way it looks. And I'm not sure I want to do anything to this page to lengthen it, because I think that by leaving some of the pages shorter, that'll give me more room on the outside to attach tags, to attach collages, to attach snippet rolls, and not have my book be all fat. So I think I'm going to leave this one as is. So it will go to the bottom of the pile. This is a part that I cut off of another page. And I just might, I wonder if I did this, This page measures 12 inches, and that's 3 inches. So I could actually attach that to the end and fold this up and create a little pocket on the end like I was just talking about I could do, where I would have room because of leaving the short pages. And I think that that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not being very precise here. I am going to try to match up that end. I think that'll look good there. Let's see, and which part of this? I think I'll fold this up this way. Once again, eyeballing that just to get a feel for it. Now, because this is a thinner paper, I'm going to stabilize it just a little bit. Instead of just hanging it there on the end, I'm actually going to do a wrap around. So what I'll do is I'll do that, and I'll make a little sandwich down here so that I still have my pocket out here. I have strengthened the end of this paper that tends to be a little bit weaker. And another thing that I do with this, I'll show you in just a bit to help strengthen it. And then I'll do the same thing down here. Now, do I want to flip that so that I have, no, I think I'll just keep it this way. You could do it that way and both of your pockets would open on that end. But I think I'll do it this way. I'll do it the same way on both ends. Now that's only going to take me to 18 inches, but that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. So I'm going to slide this back out. I'm going to go ahead and put my glue all the way down on that corner. I don't normally work on fabric when I'm gluing and inking and painting and such, but my studio table has a glass top, and sometimes that makes it hard to see what I am recording for you guys. Not so hard for me because I'm used to working on it, but I think it makes it a little bit easier for you to watch what's going on when you're not trying to look through the glass at all the stuff that I have underneath of my studio table. All right, so we're going to come over and do the same thing here. I still have that globbity problem a little bit, but not so much as I do when I store my glue the other directions. If anybody has a really good tip for keeping that from happening, I would sure appreciate your sharing. All right. So there we go. We have another page. We've created 2 more pockets. And sometimes on these weak pages, like this children's writing paper, I will take down the center. I will glue an extra piece of paper just to stabilize it. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't know that I want to use this piece of paper. I will probably do that later though. All right, so this one is glued to the fabric that I was just talking about. If you have a glass tabletop or a glass mat or something like that, they are so wonderful. They clean up easy. I take a little, if something's really hard to get off, I have these little scrapers from the Dollar Tree, and I just scrape it off. Scrape the glue off, scrape the goop off, and then I can clean it up, and it's just fabulous. Let's see, put that back up. Okay, so there's another page that we have lengthened. Another way that you can lengthen pages to put into your journals is with fabric. Let's see, and I've already done that once on another page here in this signature. I took some of the fabric from the cover and simply glued it down the center, and then I will be covering that up with lace or some other decoration. So that's another one, and that'll be a good, strong center. Another way that you can do it is to just simply glue the little piece in the middle. Did we already do this one? I can't remember. Let's see, we've glued to the ends. We've decided not to touch that one. We've glued to the ends. Okay, so you can glue to the center as well. I like the fluffy bits that are on this music manuscript paper. So once again, it's going to be almost 20 inches when I do this. So I'm going to go ahead. This paper is a little bit longer, and that is a good thing for us. I don't know how much my head is getting in the camera. I really hope it's not. I'm going to simply glue that on there and then do the same thing on this side. However, when it comes to this particular part, where did my ruler go? I have buried my ruler. There it is, up there. For this one, I'm going to put my ruler or a straight edge, whatever you have, along this one so that I can make sure that I get this straight across. Because when you're gluing a center piece on it, it's much more difficult to get your paper straight than it is to do it on the end for some reason. I think because on the ends you have a line to follow, and on this one you don't necessarily have that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to scoot that in, make sure it's lined up, and then press down. Because I have the ruler here, it lifts this paper up just enough that I can slide this paper with the glue underneath without making a big mess. Then, since this is longer, I am just going to reinforce these edges by folding right here. And it's easier to get a good crease when you're on a hard surface like glass. Here, let's try this. There we go. And then we have a nice finished edge. I will have to probably go back and recrease that. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just glue it and then cover it up with something else later. I like that about journals, because if you make a mistake, nobody has to know. You just go back and cover it up with something. That does not work for everything in life. Just hold this down for just a second. It doesn't take that long for the Fabri-Tac to grab, unless you don't get glue in a spot. There we go. So there is another page that we have lengthened. This one, I believe, is close enough. Yes, because it's only going to have a gap of about 1.5 inches on each end. So I'm going to leave this one as is. Now, for this one, I didn't even fold it straight. My goodness. And now, since I'm on the fabric, I don't know that I can... Okay, I'm going to fold this up. You're going to see my glass and all the mess underneath, because I really, really need this to be a straight fold. That's better. All right, now to hide all that again. Here we go. This one is short by 6 inches. So I'm going to get another one of my allotted papers, and I'm just going to get the one that matches that one. This sheet of ledger paper here. And I am going to Let's see, that is folded on between the, okay. And since we're folding, here we go with the glass again. All right. So we want to go between the 19 and the 20. I'm looking at the little numbers here. I don't know if you can see them, but it's ledger paper. All ledger paper has rows of numbers. There we go. That crease makes me happy. All right. And this gets a little tricky because then you have to decide, okay, pockets go where and what are they doing and all of that other stuff. So for this, I am simply going to, it's kind of not really making one page out of it, but it's using 2 pages to make that length work. So we are at 20 if I get it spread out far enough. And look at that, my holes match up. And I know that right there on the 10 is where I want to be for what I'm gonna do. So I will fold that. Now, on this line is where I'm gonna put my glue. And like I said, I'm actually kind of making 2 pages to cover the length of 1, if that makes any sense. Because it's the same page, it will look as if it's 1. And I like that my holes line up at the top. I think that that worked out well. Let's see, let's scoot this down so that they are even. There we go. Okay, so if you want, you can glue this part down and glue this part down, and then you've got a pocket here and a pocket here, and you've got a long pocket on the back. I think that's what I'm going to do and actually make it all 1 page. So let's get our glue out and glue. Let's see, what do we want to glue first? I think I want to glue the back side first. And I am not going to glue around the circles. I don't remember how far that went. Oh, 2 to 7. I am not going to glue above or around the circles, the holes up there, because that's kind of a weak part of the paper. And I don't want a weak part of the paper to be what I'm depending on to hold it together. So I'm going to turn this over. And once again, I'm going to glue just under the circles. Pardon my head, I'm pretty sure it's right in the frame. Trying to see where I'm putting the glue. All right, I got a little bit of extra glue there. I'll just scoot it back up under, and then I'll add it right there. Now, oops, I had it sitting upright. It started a volcano on me. I want that to be glued. I want that to be glued. And I'm going to put some glue here to help reinforce this fold. Hold that down for a couple of seconds. Whoops, quit glue. There we go. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing. I'm going to glue here to make this pocket. I'm going to glue here to reinforce this fold. And I'm going to glue over here to continue the pocket. I think I'm going to put glue in the, not the middle, but the kind of middle here, so that I actually have 1, 2, 3 pockets there. Lid on and on your side. So I still have some papers to add to this particular signature, but I will show you some of the other ways that I lengthened some papers. I don't want to make this video too long. This is just going to be a skinny one, a skinny page, sorry. But it does have these 2 little pockets that'll be in the center, and then there's writing space and writing space that's blank in addition to the writing space with the lines. For this, I just took 2 sheets of my copy paper. I didn't even cut it. I put them end to end to measure 20 inches. I glued it completely closed, no pockets there, because I folded in to make the 5.5 inches so that when I sew it, I actually have a slide in, and I have a plan for this part here. So there's another page. This is similar to what we just did with this one, except for I didn't make the folds. I simply made the slide in pockets. For this one, I have a sheet of the children's writing paper, and I extended the ends, making pockets right here with some drawing paper. There are not pockets on the back side. I glued that part down. And then I added this piece to the middle to be, 1, a stabilizer, and 2, when I sew this in, it's going to be a nice little narrow pocket that I can tuck a little something in. This one, I think I showed you another way to do that, except for we wrapped it around, and this on the other one, and this one I made pockets. I didn't have to do anything to this page, and I chose not to do anything to these pages because I'm just going to keep them short. And then, oh, look at that. I still have to do something with this page that is holding this particular signatures papers together. I will do that later. And then here's a couple of more ideas in this one. For this, I took the papers and placed them end to end right here, the copy paper. And then to make it reach 19 inches, I just glued this piece of lace. That means that I'm going to be sewing down here, so I'll need to add a little something to cover up that seam. Here is the one with the fabric. I have not trimmed it yet, but that is the copy paper, and then just joined like that. This one I have a plan for as well. The music sheet paper is shorter than the 2 papers because I'm going to do something with that part. Another page that I'm not going to do anything to as to lengthening at this point. This is another page that is going to be a pocket. I will not be lengthening it either. This is another of the writing paper, and I created a pocket here, and there's no pocket on the back side. But I also created 2 pockets here that I'm going to have to reinforce with either a paper scrap or lace or something like that because of the weakness of this particular paper. But I just wanted to show you, there's a pocket, and then there's a pocket there. For this, I took some of the music score paper and just lined it all up, made a little narrow pocket on each end, and on the back it goes straight across. And in this, I am just going to leave that length for now. I do not have a plan. And again, this piece that is holding this particular signatures papers together, I will have to do something with. I'm not sure what yet. So there are some ideas for, did anybody when they were young get sent to the store for a board stretcher? Well, I'll call these paper stretchers, but these are actually real. And don't fall for the 4-inch putty either, because they don't sell it anywhere. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your likes and your comments. Please subscribe and follow me by tapping the little bell icon below. And remember, be kind, always. Bye.